We factor a trinomial with AC method and the master product when this coefficient of the a term is greater than 1. In this case it's 3, so we're going to use AC method. When we do this, the first thing we do is we multiply our a term, so in this case 3, and our c term, in this case negative 12, in order to form our master product. So I'm going to just draw an x over here to get myself organized. So my a coefficient of 3, my c term negative 12, I multiply those, and I'm going to get negative 36. This b term here, negative 16, goes on the bottom of my x, and this just keeps me organized. I'm looking for two numbers that add to this, negative 16, and multiply to this, negative 36. I know to multiply to a negative number, one has to be positive, and the other factor has to be negative. I know in this case it'll be a negative 18 and a positive 2. That way they add to negative 16 and they multiply to positive 36. Then what I do is I take the b term and I'm going to split it into these two factors. So I'm going to split it into a positive 2x and a negative 18x drawn from these factors here and here. I'm going to bring down my c term of negative 12 over here. I'm going to bring down my a term of 3x squared, and then I'm going to move on to the next step. So in this next step, I'm going to split this thing down the middle, and I'm going to factor each side separately. So if I factor out this side, I can take an x out, and when I factor out an x, I'm going to be left with 3x plus 2. When I take a look at the other side, I can factor out a negative 6, and when I do so, I'm going to be left with 3x plus 2. Now I'm noticing that I have two terms. I've got this term here and this term here, and they both have 3x plus 2 in common as a factor, so I can factor out 3x plus 2. I'm just going to write it once right over here on the left, and when I do so, this term will be left with an x, this term will be left with minus 6, so x minus 6 will be my other factor, and we are done.